So you even saying out loud that you are just not gonna
Yeah.
subscribe to e-learning makes me be like, I'm
Uh-huh.
nervous. I'm nervous you're gonna get in trouble. But
Which is
I don't think
interesting
you have
'cause
high dutiful is what I'm feeling right now. Hi.
welcome. Hi.
Welcome to We'll Sleep When We're Dead Snowpocalypse edition. Has it
It
started
is
coming towards you yet?
it's pouring, pouring. We've already closed tomorrow.
We haven't yet, and I know that it's coming, so I'm like, can they just do it? Can you please just tell me so that I can, like, mentally prepare for
I'm so annoyed.
another
I just
48
feel
hours of this?
I know. Has it stopped with you yet?
No, I mean, it's light, and it's definitely I'm, like, looking out the window right now. It's definitely not as much, I feel like, as they said it was gonna be, but the real
Okay.
temperature for when the kids would go to school tomorrow would be -3 degrees, and so I'm like, there's no chance they're gonna stick kids on
Yeah.
buses and everything. So,
Yeah.
I'm like, "Just tell us. Let us
I
prepare."
know. Well, I feel like over here in New York, there's just I mean, people freak out here. I'm like,
Really?
I'm
What?
I don't know. I'm like not freaking out. I don't know if it's the Midwest in me that we've had so many snowstorms, but like even Kyle was like 8 to 10 inches doesn't scare me. 3 feet? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's something to be like, but like 8 to 10 inches, like you just like move on after the day it comes down. But I just think that they were going to cancel no matter what because of all the preparation, the mayor
Yeah.
getting interviewed. We'll call it by just like so annoying. I'm so annoyed. But I mean, we woke up today and there was already like an inch and it has not stopped. And what is it?
Yeah.
It's 11.
Yeah.
So we're going to
Well,
go
I
out
guess
later and maybe
what are you
do
gonna
like,
do? I mean, I did look at your temperature because I was like, "At least yours is a little bit warmer."
yeah,
Like, balmy 22 degrees. Ours
I
is
know.
like it's like 8 degrees, so I don't even know if we should be out in
That's
it.
not
It's
even
really
fun.
confusing.
No. No, I think we're gonna go take some cookie sheets and go sledding somewhere.
Oh
I don't know.
my
'Cause we don't
gosh,
have the
that's
tools to
so cute.
we don't have space for sleds in New York City, but we got
No.
cookie
We
sheets.
don't even own a sled. I'm like, "What's wrong with us?"
You need to own a sled. You have a
We need
garage.
to own a sled.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
have a garage. It feels like something that's, like, pretty
Yeah.
standard, but
Yeah, I just am so frustrated because I can't catch a break. Like, we got back from winter break and maybe we had 5 full days, I can't remember. But
yeah.
then, like, Isla had strep and then I had the flu, and then we got back from Miami, which we're gonna talk about, and obviously there was, like, a day off there. I don't know why last week felt short, and then Monday's no school. It's just like, we're almost in
It's
February and we have a winter break in February. We have a whole week
yeah,
off
so do
that
we.
I have to stay at home. Like we didn't plan anything and I'm just like I'm really trying to surrender, but I'm having a really hard moment because those days for stay-at-home moms, which I'm interested what you feel, they're just washes. Like nothing can happen. And then they make these kids remote learn. And my sweet little Isla, who's a rule follower, she's like, we have to do it. And me and this other mom were like, we do not remote learn. Like, that's not something I'm going to subscribe to.
Yeah.
And my sweet little Isla is like, we have to remote learn.
What does remote learning look like for that age, though? That's what I've been, like, so curious about because kindergarten, they're not having us do anything, so I don't know.
Good. Because so our first year here, they had remote learning for kindergartners. We had landed on January 4th, and I think it was like January 25th, similar to this.
Yeah.
We had a remote learning. It was horrible. My sweet little Isla, they don't know how to do computers. They don't know how to
Right.
navigate anything. But luckily our school, I got on the email immediately when they offered, I think they had like Chromebooks available for like X percent of people. And that's my
Yeah.
biggest thing is like, I don't want her to be remote learning all day because like I need my computer and we only have
Right.
one computer in our house. Like we don't have a family computer anymore. Like maybe
Right.
that's a thing old people do or like older parents do. But like I don't have a family. Like we grew up with a family computer, but I don't have a family. So anyway, I'm just like,
We
they
have
actually,
one, I guess you could call it our family like, it's what I'm on right now. It's like what Kev and I share to do all of our personal stuff, but this would not be a computer I'd want the kids, like, putzing around on
yeah,
because
my
it would
friend,
when Kev took his, career leap, we needed a computer for him, and
right.
so this is a new computer that I'm not gonna have Henry.
Like,
Yeah.
pouncing and so anyway, Isla in 2nd grade, because I have a Chromebook for her from the school and she's very responsible, I will have her log on. I think it's basically gonna be like the teacher comes on and does, like, a few lessons, but Finley, like, not a chance
No.
is that girl gonna sit in front of a and I'm not gonna sit there and do it. I'm just why I said, I was like, I'm not gonna subscribe to remote learning, make it a full school day or make it a full snow day like back in the day. That's
Well,
why I
that
feel like
okay,
we cancel.
that's what I'm so I'm curious about 2 things. One, the fact that snow days when we were their age were literally just snow
Real snow
days.
days. They were the
I mean,
best.
real snow days. But the
Ugh.
second thing that comes to mind is, like, we lucked out during COVID of having
Oh.
small kids. Now, granted, like, we had all the challenges that people with small kids had, but we were not having to remote learn. And,
Oh,
like,
I think
I
about that all the
can't
time.
even imagine trying to manage that with any age
No. Nope.
amidst
I
working and whatever.
no. I the fact that we all survived that COVID is it's kind of, like, wild that we just kind of act like it never not that we
Yeah,
didn't happen, but we're all just kinda like, "Yeah, that
we've
sucked."
moved on.
Because,
Yeah,
yeah, I don't know why there was a day that Isla yeah, it was I think I talked about it here once. It wasn't a remote day because we haven't had one yet, but I think it was, like, an afternoon that Isla just got her Chromebook and she was really excited, and Finley had her first homework packet in pre-K, and it's just, like, cutting and taping.
right.
And they were both doing it, but, like, Isla was annoyed that the Chromebook wasn't working. Finley, of course, needs a lot of help with cutting and gluing, and then Ruby's, like, probably throwing a fit as she does. It's, like, 4 o'clock, and I remember being like, "People did this for 2
I
years.
can't even imagine. No.
I couldn't make it through an hour of that." Like,
Which
anyway,
is again, we've gotta get a homeschool mom on
we gotta go.
because
How did they do it?
I couldn't be more curious. I couldn't be more
They
curious about what the frame of mind that you and the patience you must have
the
to be to
freedom,
do that every day. It's incredible to me
it's
and
incredible.
admirable and all the things.
It's
But
unbelievable.
I think back to your question about thinking, I always love to go about back to the reason that we even have this podcast. But I had this exact thought this morning where I'm like, okay, how does Sam think about like it's almost back to our grass is always greener mentality where I was like, man, Sam's got it lucky because she can just spend her day doing the snow day where it's like
Yep,
you're not trying to balance extra things.
right.
Whereas I'm looking down the barrel of tomorrow on a Monday being like, I have meetings from 9 to 5.
Yeah. How do you do that?
I don't know how I possibly would manage 2 children if my husband didn't have the flexibility that he does right now. Which
100%.
then goes back to, like, how do like, 2 working parents is really difficult.
For a snow day, yes.
For a
And
snow
then
day
that
anything, I mean, for really anything, but, like, for a snow day specifically, but it's funny because your comment was, "It's a wash of a day, and I can't do
mhm,
anything else,"
mhm.
and I'm like,
It's a
"That
lot.
sounds easier than, like, I'm
Managing what you
going
have
to
to do.
be the most stressed person all day
Right,
trying to figure out how to manage everything," and I know I'm the absolute worst version of myself when I'm trying to do both.
right, right. I know. I feel like it's weird, like, I immediately have this, like, defeat. "Okay, there goes the day." Like, I'm just
Yeah,
gonna okay, I know how it's gonna go. Tomorrow at 9 a.m., I'm gonna already be annoyed. They're gonna be fighting. We can't go
yeah,
outside. Or if we go outside, it's only gonna last 20 minutes. And let's talk about that. Putting 3 kids in full snow gear outfits
no,
for them to go play for 4 minutes. Like,
no.
mark my words, because we will still be podcasting this summer. I would rather put on sunscreen every 20 minutes in a bathing suit because both suck, right? You're like running around the park in the summer, like, wait, don't spray in your kids with the sunscreen. But like the amount of sweating and putting on the snow boots and the gloves that don't fit and the
No.
hats just
And
for them, like,
someone's always crying, and someone
someone's
doesn't
always
like the
trying.
way this fits. Someone's grown
Yep,
out of these boots, but
yep,
these are now the only boots we have. These are
yep,
if you wanna go out, these are what you're wearing.
yeah,
Like,
yep. This is what we have. And so that is like, that is where it's so defeatist of like, I know how this story goes. I've done these
yeah,
snow days before. Will I make it to 5 o'clock?
yeah,
I don't know. But, like, yeah,
yeah,
I don't know how I would do that managing, and that's where, like, if I ran for president, I have a lot like, only mom things would be on my docket, and remote learning would be out. How do you expect somebody like Lucy, who is working all day, to then sit and make sure that their 7-year-old is remote learning properly? At least if there's no remote learning and you have to work all day, you just have to suck it up and be like, "All right, they're gonna watch TV all day." Let's be honest. Like,
yeah,
that's just how I'm gonna get through my workday. But then you throw on these parents the, like, pressure of making sure these kids are, like, actively on the remote learning. I think it's really rude that we do that for
Yeah.
parents that are working. Like for me, it's easy. It's just annoying. But for you, it's like, I
And
would definitely
COVID
not subscribe to remote learning if I was a working parent.
right,
100%.
well, it's
Like
interesting because you were a teacher. So this, like, whole remote learning thing, was that just truly a
COVID,
direct
COVID.
COVID outcome?
This was
Because
never a thing before. I did not teach pre-COVID, or I did not teach post-COVID. I only taught pre-COVID. Never once. We had 2 snow days in Chicago. Do you remember Snowmageddon in
oh
Chicago
my gosh.
where
I
people got, like,
remember you
stuck on
barely
Lakeshore
getting back
Drive?
yes!
It
Were
was
we on the
horrible.
phone or did you just tell me after? Because I swear I was talking to you when you were like, "I don't
I
know if I'm gonna
probably
make it home."
I probably did call everybody that would talk to me because I was so scared driving down Lakeshore Drive. It was
Yeah,
so scary. But we had 2 full snow days. There was no remote learning. I was a teacher in Chicago, and my best friends and I were running around in the snow, having
right.
so much fun. I wasn't on my computer logging on. Like, are you kidding me?
Okay, but is it COVID or is it technology advancements? Like,
100% COVID.
would remote learning have caught up, like, ex-COVID at some point because technology is so prevalent now and everyone can do
I
anything
don't
from
know
anywhere?
because I don't think so because think back, we were studying abroad almost 15, 18 years ago, and we were Zoom calling our parents, or what was
Yeah,
it called back then? Skyping our
yeah,
parents.
yep.
So,
Skype. Wow, did Skype just not
right?
make it?
It didn't make it.
It didn't make
I
it.
know. It
They
didn't
couldn't
make it.
evolve fast enough? What
I don't
happened
think
with
so.
them? We don't know.
But yeah, I
Someone
think
let us
it's
know.
I mean, yeah, technology like so right before I left teaching, I actually would pre-record all of my like if I knew I was going to be gone for a wedding as a teacher like a Friday, that week I would pre-record my lessons and
Yeah.
then because each kid had their Chromebooks and then when the sub would come in, they just had like all the kids would put their headphones on and press play and watch me teach them a lesson at their own pace.
Mm,
So that was
interesting.
real yeah, that was, like, cool, and
Yeah.
that was really fun, but this whole idea that a teacher is gonna have to, like, live teach, I don't know, it's such a soapbox of mine, I find and I'm a teacher, you would think that I would be the parent that was like, "You're gonna sit?" No,
Yeah.
what's one day? I was like, I'm gonna make Isla read for 30 minutes, done." Like, she does not need to sit in front of a screen for
Right.
4 hours tomorrow, I just don't
Right.
subscribe to it. I just don't do it.
Oh my gosh.
I
It's
never thought
so
I would be that person to be like, "My kids don't do the homework," or my and now I am. I'm like, "If it's a fight, we don't do homework in our house because I'm not fighting you about school." If it's like and it'll evolve as our kids get more important and older, but, like, right now, I'm just like, I know
I
how it goes.
really would love for you to take this assessment that I've taken before called the Hogan
Okay,
assessment because it
okay.
identifies like in times of stress how you show up. And my like high is like dutiful to the core, which basically is like I'm going to
Oh.
follow the rules. I'm going to so you even saying out loud that you are just not going to
Yeah.
subscribe to e-learning makes me be like, I'm
Uh-huh.
nervous. I'm nervous you're going to get in trouble. I'm
Yeah,
not even a part of it and I'm worried about you. So, but
which is
I don't think
interesting
you
because.
have high dutiful is what I'm feeling right now.
But I'm such a rule follower. Yeah, that's an interesting but I also think being a teacher has ruined me
Yeah.
because it's not that important.
Mm,
And we as
mhm.
teachers, we don't want anybody to know that, and there's
Yeah.
so much important things that we do. I'm just talking 1 week, like, all homework is important, like, if you're supposed to I'm just talking about my sweet little pre-K'er,
Yeah.
it's like 1 packet a month, and she has to trace. If she's fighting me, my job is to make her like school, so
Yeah.
if we're fighting, I'm out. Like, I believe that even with Isla, as, like, a middle schooler, I would probably be like, "We're fighting again. Okay, let's take a break. Let's not do homework because it's in the long game, yes, you don't wanna not do homework over and over and over and over, but in the short
Right.
game, I just know the value of, like, it being a more positive I just want my kids to like school more than feeling like they have to get it done and then hate school. So, I don't know, but I don't think I'm this way in other ways. Like, in other ways, I love
Now I'm
authority,
going to be watching out
love a
for it.
rule. Yeah, you should. You call me out because I feel like I'm very, like, rule following. So, yeah, I don't know, but yeah, I'm not gonna
I
subscribe
don't
to it.
know. This is probably one of those things as we get closer to 40 that will get less and less dutiful as we go.
That I want to be. It's like a good practice for me.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, I have a super rando story, and then we can talk about
I'm
what we're
ready.
gonna talk about, unless you have a rando story.
No, my rando, like, just encouragement for all parents listening to this podcast is I hope you make it through the snowstorm. I
I
mean,
know.
it's 10:52 on a Sunday morning. I've broken up 10 fights,
Yeah.
listened to Alexa play fart noises for 30
Oh my gosh.
minutes, and
Ugh,
For
I
anyone that hasn't done that, it is actually kind of funny, but it gets so
so old,
ridiculous.
so old. Really quickly, should we land the Hoosier plane since you're rocking your Hoosier hat? We should probably land
I
it.
had to because it just felt right today.
I don't wanna land it, but I think we have to land it.
We have to land it and we have to let people move on.
I don't wanna.
I don't want to either. We're almost a week past them winning the championship, which was magical in all the ways that you would imagine. And yet last night as we were going to bed, we were rewatching the Peach
Yeah.
Bowl game.
We
So like
we
that's how unhinged we still are. Like
we
we've
watched the
rewatched the
Miami game
championship
last night.
game.
Yep, yep.
I have watched that Mendoza touchdown and at the same time I'm gonna show this picture.
I've watched his touchdown, I'm not exaggerating, no short of 500 times. Yeah, the
This is
picture,
being printed. That touchdown with whatever it takes on it
whatever
is
it
getting
takes.
printed for my desk because it's, like, so motivational. So, we may never be over it. Sam and I, how blessed and lucky we are,
To do it together.
got
Oh.
to go together. We were sitting, like, 2 rows from each other, which also in that huge stadium is just so crazy.
And it was so fun for me too, like, watching all these other people on social media, like, going with their friends from
I
college, even though
know.
it was 20 years ago, because it's just like college is
Uh,
so special. We
we saw
all love
so many
Indiana.
DGs,
So
Delta
many
Gamma. I
DGs.
mean, we
Go DG.
saw so many just and the crazy thing was how many people I've seen since then that were at the game that we just didn't see that we
Yeah,
knew.
yeah. And it's funny too, because so many people obviously I've rocked my IU hat every day walking around in
Yeah.
the snow 'cause I have, like, a beanie, and when people are like, "Did you go?" I'm like, "Yeah," and they're so shocked, and they're like, "How did you get tickets?" And I was like, "I sold my soul, it's fine." But, like, just feel so proud that I went, worth every second, got 0 sleep, I
Oh,
probably made my flu recovery 10 times worse because of it, would
oh
do it
my
again in a
gosh.
heartbeat, like, it
Every
was yeah,
piece of it was worth it.
it was
Every
it was
every piece.
I watched that Fernando touchdown 100,000,000 times.
I
Even the
know.
other day, Kyle goes, "Oh, I think this is a new angle." Like it was a
I
video
know.
that he
We've
had
all
found
lost our minds.
of like a different angle of him doing it. I've watched him on all his cute little like Jimmy Fallon and like I can't stop.
And yet again, we're manifesting this and putting this out into the universe. We had this remarkable thought this week of a dream podcast guest would be
His
Mrs.
mommy.
Mendoza.
Oh my
We want
gosh.
Fernando's mom on this podcast. We want to talk to her about raising athletes and
Boys.
good young
Athlete
men
mama.
and all the things. She's an incredible mom. If anyone knows her and wants to put us in touch, we would
I mean, I just went back and
die.
forth from like energy of just elation watching him score and then any video of the parents, I just would
Oh,
cry. So I was just like back and forth of like
yeah. It's been
so
an
anyway.
emotional roller coaster, and we appreciate everyone who doesn't give a rip about the Hoosiers following along, hanging on with us. The amount of pod friends, which is what I'm calling them now, the people that are listening every week that texted me,
Yeah. Yeah.
congratulating me as if I was playing was just
Had a few
wonderful.
friends here tell me they watched the first half before they fell asleep just because they knew how hard I tried to get tickets because I
Yeah.
was asking everybody.
Yeah.
And I
Uh-huh.
was like, "Oh, thanks, guys. Thanks for your support." Because
Thanks for your
yeah.
support. It feels like we were all on a journey. But yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So wore the hat because it just felt like we needed to land the plane on it, and we're
We'll be
not
back
over
in
it.
August with it, though. It's
Uh,
fine. We
we'll
need a
be
little
back.
bit of a break. We'll be a Hoosier podcast in August. We'll probably
Yeah.
be I mean, honestly, we're probably breaking new boundaries of being 2 female Indiana Hoosier podcast hosts if we really wanna go there.
I think we are. I think we've paved a new path for us. So
Oh
it's pretty
my gosh.
great.
Okay, I have a
I'm
random
ready.
story to tell you. It's such a sad story, but
Oh,
it's pod
no.
relatable. And then we're already 20 minutes in and we can like scratch the surface of the video I sent you. Okay. So, you know how we like to talk about products and products tend to always be like skincare, which is great because
Yeah.
that's just like the time that we're in and I'm not, running anymore. So my products are
Yeah.
less. Okay. We've also talked about how you and I hate that moment when we have to go refill because it's so expensive.
So
All of the
expensive.
products,
Yep.
makeup,
Yep.
face stuff, like I just hate it. But
Mhm.
then what happens is if I'm in Sephora, I then am like, "You know what? You're here. Why don't you just get like the 5 products you need?"
Yeah.
So instead of just getting them little by little, I
No.
like
You just
classic
go full bore.
erratic. Yeah, I go full. So I've been like scratching or like getting the bare minimum out of my facial
Oh,
cream
yeah.
And then I realized that I have eyebrow pencil and an eyebrow gel and that's actually like all my makeup is.
Yeah.
Like even on right now, I have like a little bit of toner or whatever, but I usually just do my eyebrows and mascara and call it a day. Okay. So on Tuesday of this week, I had coffee with a friend and I only had an hour before pickup because Ruby gets picked up at noon. And I was by Sephora and I was like, all right, I'm just going to go. And I know I'm going to spend like $200, but I'm going to
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
So I go get my night cream that I'm obsessed with. It's Drunken Elephant. Love Drunken Elephant products. And then instead of getting drugstore brand, I get like the nice Anastasia eye
Yeah.
cream.
Brow
And then
gel.
I get brow gel, but I also love her pencil too.
Oh, okay.
So like instead of just like, Walgreens. Okay.
Yeah.
So then I go across the street to Walgreens and I get the girls' toothbrushes for travel. Okay. So I have my tiny little Sephora bag
No.
and I have my big Whole Foods bag.
No. It's
And I
lost.
go
I'm
okay, so
scared.
I go pick up I don't wanna tell people about this story because people are always like, "Oh my god, New York is not safe." And, like, truly, New York is so safe for me in my life of I've not been scared. I've not been scared in New York except the time did I tell you that when I was on the subway and they lost power and I was stuck on the subway underground for 20 minutes because we had no power?
I I don't even actually wanna hear
You
that
don't wanna
story
hear
because
that.
that's
Okay, so
no,
anyway,
like,
that happened
every
to
claustrophobic feeling in my body just makes me flash back to your marathon where we were
yeah,
in that subway
yeah.
with 350,000 people,
Yeah,
and that
it was
man
not
almost
good.
died.
I was with Isla and Finley, thank God, because I had to keep it cool
Gosh.
for them, but, like, if I was by myself, I would have been having a panic attack. Okay, so anyway, I really do feel safe in New York,
Yeah.
but I'm also very trustworthy. So I go with my big Whole Foods bag of, like, snacks and then my tiny
Yeah.
little Sephora bag, and the toothbrushes are hanging out of the Sephora bag. So then I'm, like, standing out front of my daughter's preschool, and my nose is, like, running like crazy, and so I was like, "I just really need a tissue." School picks up at 12:15. It's, like, 12:06 or 12:07, and I swore nannies were already arriving, and we all just kinda gather in front of the
Yeah.
door, and then they release the kids. We don't go in the school. They open the door, and the kids run out to us. So I'm always like we're talking the sidewalk is, like, 4 feet into the door. So I just leave the bag and I go inside and get a tissue. I probably am inside for 2 minutes max because I like go in, "Hi, can I get a tissue?" The secretary is amazing. She's like, "Oh, you're not feeling better?" Because she knew me last week. I was like,
Yeah.
"No, I had the flu." I blow my nose, I throw it away, I go back outside. I grab the bags, we go home. And when I come home, I realize my Sephora bag is quite light. The only thing left are the 4 travel kid toothbrushes. None of my products are in my Sephora bag. So I immediately called the school and was like, "Do you have cameras?" And she's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "No, my
Oh
stuff from Sephora was stolen."
my
And
gosh.
it had to have been a nanny because I swore and we leave strollers out there all the
Right.
time. I've left whole food bags and ran to go to the bathroom.
My gosh.
So she goes on her camera and sure enough, in that minute and a half to 2 minutes, 2 like high school girls saw a Sephora bag, grabbed all the products and walked away.
Were they nannies?
No, I told the secretary, I
I'm
was like,
actually really grateful because that
I
would be
know.
so awkward.
I was like, I am so grateful because even the secretary's like, "Weren't there nannies out there?" And I was like, "Yeah, what if it was a nanny? Like, that's gonna be such a hard conversation."
Right.
But no, they have 2 angles. It was very visible, these 2 girls, and it's a side street too. It's
Were
in
they
between
just, like, walking by and they happened to see
literally
the Sephora bag?
yeah, and
Sorry, I just dropped my headphone.
they happen to see the Sephora bag, and so, like, 100 of my stuff is
My gosh. I
I
am
know!
so sorry. And
Isn't
that
that
gives me all the ick feeling. I hate that
mhm.
for you.
I know, I hate it all, and now, of course, like, it took all of me to even go out there and get all that stuff, and now I'm like, I don't even wanna buy that stuff
You're like, "I'm
anymore,
not
but
gonna
then,
have
like
that again."
but it's like the classic, like, when people's car gets broken into and then they're like, "I left it unlocked." You're like, "Okay, you're the idiot." So, like, I know I shouldn't have left it out there, but, like, I am trustworthy and I have had no issues, and it's a side street. It wasn't like a massive street where there's a lot of foot traffic. It's really like a side street. So,
Can
I don't
you
know.
imagine the gall?
It was next to,
To
like
be next to a bunch of people, have no idea whose bag that was.
mhm,
Like,
and just, like, look in it and be like, "Oh, there's product. I'm gonna take all the product out," and you can, like, see them in the video.
was it so fast in the video?
Oh,
Like, they
yeah.
just
Oh, yeah, they, like,
and they left the
kleptos.
toothbrushes.
And that's the thing that's so funny. So they didn't just take the Sephora bag and walk away. They left the little black and white lined Sephora bag with my toothbrushes sticking out. So mad about it.
Oh,
So
I'm
my
so
eyebrows are
mad about
brought to
that for
you
you.
by like the bottom of the barrel. I'm still just going to milk anything I can.
Oh my
I
gosh.
thought you would appreciate, but also realize that
I
that's a
hate
sad
it.
story.
That is a very sad story.
I know. Anywho,
Okay. Well,
okay,
on that
moving
note,
on.
that's
It's
Sad,
already a
sad
little
note.
bit it's already 26 minutes in, but I did think that that clip about Michelle Obama was interesting, that we could maybe just, like, scratch the surface of, because I
I
think
think
it's
let's
pretty
just
relevant.
scratch the surface on it, and then I think, it brings me back to a couple of the things that Katie mentioned when we were talking
Mhm.
with her, and so I know this podcast will air after Katie's
After
podcast comes out next week, but, I think it's just it's an interesting, like, double click into some of the
yeah,
conversations we had with her. So why don't you share, and then we can kinda
yeah.
just scratch the surface a little bit.
So, obviously, I'm, like, super into podcasts, but I've seen Michelle out everywhere, and I realized that she has, like, a new book, which I'm like, "Oh, that makes
Yeah,
sense because like, she's
the
not."
press junket. Yeah,
Yeah, so I'm like, "Why am I seeing her everywhere?" And then it's like, oh, she's on Call Her Daddy, she's on her
yeah,
she actually has her own podcast, but she's, like, getting a lot of clips.
yeah.
And so I've actually listened to a few full interviews, but this one I just saw a clip. I don't really know what podcast it was, but it was about her because
It
she's
was
obviously in
Emma
her
Greed's
60s.
podcast, who I
Oh,
love.
okay, you've heard of that.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
And I found it to be so, even with, like, Carol Smart coming on our podcast,
yeah.
basically what she was saying, because she's in her 60s, she's had her career. She probably still has a career with her podcast. I don't know a lot about Michelle, but she has 2 kids that are probably post-college now.
Mhm.
She was just like, "This idea of your life getting it all at once is just false." And the way that she referred to it, which I thought so much about you, was it's just chapters, and you can't read, like, you're not gonna read a whole book in one chapter. You need to read each chapter to get the whole
Yeah,
book, basically. And we've talked about seasons in our life
yeah,
of just, like, there's a certain chapter in my life where, like, it wasn't about my career, and it was just
yep,
about being the first lady and raising kids, and then there's another chapter in my life book where I was able to be not as much intentional. I'm putting words in her mouth now, but, like,
yeah,
not as intentional as a mom, and now I'm back in my career, and it just was, like, such a beautiful way, I think, of looking at it.
yeah,
And it really reminded me, because in her other podcast, she made a comment about how women need to be looking to their elders for more advice because, like, we've seen it, and that's what I felt like with Carol, like, our resident.
yeah,
I was just like, "Carol, don't leave," and you could just tell with listening to Michelle and listening to Carol, they're just their sense of ease because
mhm,
they've been through it, and it reminded me back a couple of episodes ago when we were talking about how first-time moms, like, even though we're not veterans yet, but we're veteran
right,
moms to a baby mom. Like, I'm
right,
a veteran. I'm somebody that a person who's a first-time mom with an infant would look at you and I for
yeah,
advice, and we would have
yeah,
it. And I was like, "Yeah, you can't tell a newborn mom with a baby it's gonna be okay." And it's almost like, "Michelle, I love this advice, but it's hard to tell us right now when we are in it to trying to make it all work, trying to be the mom that does it all and maybe have a career, maybe not have a career,
yeah,
that it's gonna be okay." But in reality, like, it is such good advice that, like, you're not gonna have it all at once, but if you're lucky to live the next 20 years, you're gonna look back and realize you had it all, it just was in different chunks of time, and I was like, "Gosh, that's so cool of a way to think
yeah.
about it," even
Well,
for
and
somebody.
yeah,
But
go ahead,
I love
sorry.
your advice. I would love your point of view on it because you work. Like, for me, I have an interesting take on that because I don't work, but for you who, like, that is a real struggle for you, like, being the mom that can do it all and have all of the career, like, you just can't do that all every day.
Well, do you remember that line in The Devil Wears Prada where he basically said, "Is your personal life falling apart? Then maybe it's time for a promotion." You know,
Oh,
basically, like, and I don't know why that specific line has stuck with me for all time, where
that's so
basically it's
interesting.
kind of like leaning into this tension that if you're giving it all for one thing or another, it's likely at the expense of something
Of
else.
another.
And I've thought about that a lot recently. I don't know why. I think just this podcast and like bringing awareness and light to a lot of things and having conversation, and the comment I was going to make about Katie was like her conversation about like we keep hearing balance is out, like that's kind of like what all of our guests are saying,
Yep.
and there's like a different way that women are articulating what it
Mhm,
is, and Katie's
mhm.
comment was all about blending,
Yeah,
where it's
that's
like
great.
how do you integrate it, Sarah was talking about integration, Katie was talking about blending, where it's just like you can't, there is no such thing as balance anymore, because I think inherently life feels pretty much out of balance all the time,
Right.
where if I feel like wow, I'm like really crushing it at work and I'm really giving it my all, that is coming at the expense of something else. That's
Mhm,
coming at the expense of like, okay, I'm working 3 hours at night, then I'm not hanging out with my husband at night.
mhm.
Or if I'm the flip side of it, if I'm like, I'm going to really prioritize dropping the kids off at
Yeah.
school every single day this week, well, that means that like I'm not in my seat working
Right.
until 9 versus
Right.
otherwise I would start at 7:30 or whatever the
Right.
case may be.
Right.
So I think it's such a, all of this is like highlighting what I think is so important,
Mhm.
which is like making it okay to know that like there are going to be seasons where things are
Have to give.
really have to give,
Mhm.
and that's okay.
And she made a
Because in
comment
Go ahead.
she made a comment about, like, "I loved baby jar food. I thought I was the best mom." And I was working, I was in the grocery store, and I was like, "This is dinner, this is dinner." Like, nobody once I, like, fed my kids, nobody really cared that it came from a baby jar, but, like, I just knew in that season, in that chapter, I was in a law firm, I couldn't go home and make baby food all day, but, like, the world
Mhm.
told me that I should because I'm a mom, I should be doing it all, but, like, it's okay. In that chapter, now I'm able to, like, have sit down dinners with my adult children and, like, love on. So anyway, I just was like, gosh, it's so easy for her and Carol Smart and all those people to say
Yeah,
because they've seen it. Just like it's easy for me to tell my sister that her newborn's gonna sleep through the night. But like it's just so hard when you're in it, like to know. And then I thought for me personally, like if this was the end of my my book, which would be so sad.
oh my gosh,
But
let's reframe that in a different way, but I get it.
well,
I know what you're
my
saying.
point is that, like, I don't really know if I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. So
Right.
it was, like, so encouraging for me to hear that because it's like, "Yeah, Sam, you have so many more chapters ahead of you."
Yep.
But, like, this 7-year stay-at-home mom chapter, like, if this was it, looking down the hat, like, I just would have probably, like, not stopped working. Like, really, I
Yeah.
would have. As much as I love my time with my girls, like, I just don't think this is it. And there are lots of stay-at-home moms that they want that to be their chapter forever.
Yeah.
But it was just like, yeah, like, I don't need this can be a chapter, and I can continue because I don't a lot
Yeah.
has give me being a stay-at-home mom, like,
Yeah.
the sacrifice I've made for my husband's job to take off and the sacrifice I make for my girls every day and like, it is a
Yeah.
lot has give, and, like, I just don't think this would have been I wouldn't want this to be my last chapter, not in life, like, I'm not gonna be here, but, like, it was just encouraging to know, like, "Oh, yeah, there's so much more time for chapters," or, like, if you ever have, like, moments of, like, "Oh, the mom's struggling, but you're killing it in your career," like, "Okay, but there's chapters left to, like, kill it in the mom world." Like, it was
I
I don't know.
know.
I felt like it was such
It's
an
so
encouragement.
So interesting, and what was really I feel like all of this is coming to light in different ways recently
Mhm,
too, and I'm seeing it
mhm,
written. We have a couple of really amazing guests coming that are specifically talking
mhm.
kind of about this and how
Yeah.
women are there's so many studies about how women are either leaving the workforce
Yeah.
or they're coming back in different capacities or things of that nature, and there's a lot more conversation and spotlight around it than I feel like there ever has been.
Mhm.
And I just reached out to someone that I really wanna have on the podcast this week that posted a LinkedIn post around taking a pause, taking, like, a very prescriptive pause after she left a high profile job
Right.
and, like, intentionally spending time with her kid. They're older kids, but, like, doing drop off every single day for an entire month, like,
Oh my
being at
gosh.
every single game, and this is, like, coming after having a very high profile job that she wasn't doing those
Yeah.
things and, like, what
Right.
that time has been able to give her, but she's also energized now to go do
Yeah.
something else.
I
So
know.
that, like, I think is distinctly, like, this idea of a chapter where part of me is just curious because, like, I just think career paths are not what they used to be.
No.
I
Thank
had
God.
coffee with someone last week who's been at the same company for 30 years, and I was like,
Gosh.
"Dude, that is not the norm anymore."
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
And
No.
he was like, I know it's not the norm," and it was just incredible to hear, like, kind of the why behind that and, like, seeing my own career journey as someone that is, like, high dutiful and loyal.
Yeah.
I have, like, changed 6 times in
Right.
15 years,
Right.
which is a lot. So,
Right. Yeah. It's so interesting. Even like taking this massive pause, like back in the day, it was like you either work or you're stay at home. And a
yeah,
few of the principals I talked with, they went back to work at like 45, which is really encouraging because that's far from me. But we were just walking home yesterday from something and I was talking to Kyle. You know, Isla listens to everything I say. And I said, like, "Yeah, man, remember when I used to go" oh, yeah, we're talking about the snowstorm, and I was like, "Yeah, remember in Chicago, I used to literally get up at 5 o'clock every day before work, throw hot water on my car because we didn't have a parking spot in
yeah,
Chicago." I was kinda just talking about how we've all gotten soft because I was
yeah,
like, every single day in Chicago and it was like -10 out. I still drove to work every day.
Right.
And sweet little Isla looks up at me and she goes, "Mommy, wait, you went to work? Wait, you work?" And it was such a dig. Like I just didn't like it. I
Yeah.
was like, some
Yeah.
women might love that they don't go to work. And for me, it was like, yeah, I just don't think I would have wanted this to be the full book. And
Yeah.
I'm so
And it doesn't
grateful to
have to
hear.
be.
Right, and I'm
Yeah.
so grateful to hear people, like, older than us talk about how, like, it doesn't have to be, and I think that's
Yep.
great because I think if I was sitting here being like, "Gosh, this was a great story," I'd keep it going, but it was,
Yeah.
like, encouragement for me, and I think in the flip side of somebody who's maybe working too much and not as much time at home as they would want to be like, "Okay, this doesn't have to be
Yeah.
it," but it's really hard in the moment to, like, not act like it's it, Like,
Right.
"Oh, this is it. This is my life. I'm just a stay-at-home mom," or, "Okay, I don't know, but it doesn't have to be that way.
What kind of awareness do your kids have to this podcast? I'm curious. 'Cause my kids have been shockingly attuned to it. Like, they don't understand what it is, but when I was coming up here, I was like, "Hey, I'm going to go shoot the pod with, Aunt Sam." And Piper goes, Mom, it's not the pod, it's a podcast." And I was like, "You're right, girlfriend. That's exactly right." And, like, normally, they put up such a stink when I'm, leaving their site for 7 seconds, but
Oh.
this, like, they understand how important it is and how exciting it is that we're, like, paving our own way and doing something. It's kinda cool.
You know what? That's really funny too, because I bet that's similar to us. Because now we've done quite a few where they're around. Because
Yeah,
and, like, we'll do it when they're sleeping, but, like, today
right.
I was like, "Oh, I think it's also you're so safe to my kids," so I'm like, "Oh, I'm gonna go shoot with Aunt Lucy," and they're kinda like, "Oh, okay." Like, I don't know, like, but yeah, I guess you're right. They don't really put up a stink, and maybe I should have them, like, listen to it more because I really don't show them.
Yeah.
They usually edit when they're at school, but yeah, maybe
Henry
I
is like, if I'm, like, watching something that you sent me, Henry's like, "Is this the podcast, Mom? What are you guys talking about?"
Oh, I
It's
love
very sweet.
that.
I
But
just
yeah,
really
that's, like, what is so exciting that I can say to them, like, "I'm gonna go do the podcast,"
yeah,
because when she was so taken back that, like, I talked about going to work one day, it really kind of made me be like, "Oh, that's not my story, and I'm
yeah.
okay." Like, I have more
Oh my
chapters to live
gosh.
according to the wise women who've done this
We
before. We
sure
have more
do,
chapters.
and I'm really excited about all of them.
Oh,
So,
me too,
it's and
me too.
today's short sliver of a chapter is make it through snowpocalypse
Yeah, yeah, we can do it.
in one piece.
We can do it. Sometimes chapters are minute by minute. No, this is meal by meal.
Sometimes chapters, if you're listening to them on Audible, you speed up at 2 times speed. So
Yes,
we're just
yes,
gonna
yes.
that might be the next
Oh
48
my
hours, but
gosh. All right.
oh, well, so fun. Do you have a product? Oh, I mean, you've talked about your products today, and it's kind of sad.
I have a weird product if you don't
Oh, I'm
if
ready. I'll
you
do a thing.
Okay. My product is not it's a show. That's kinda like a product,
Oh,
right?
yeah. Ooh, I'm excited about this.
Well,
What's it
it's
gonna be?
probably old news now because it was recorded live. But speaking of the year of the horse, did you watch Alex Holland, the free solo guy, last night scale the largest building in Taipei?
I forgot that was happening, and
Lucy
no.
talking about it right now, like,
Did he
we
do
got
it?
home.
Is he
Spoiler
alive?
alert, everybody, spoiler alert, turn it off if you wanna go watch it, because I don't think it's gonna be very like, Kyle and I were so grateful that we watched that live. He's alive, and he
Oh, okay,
accomplished
good.
it, Lucy. We got home from date night last night at 10 o'clock, which is normally my bedtime, and I was so excited to watch this guy because 'cause we've watched Free Solo before,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. We've watched that too.
Okay, so he did it live. My heart is I it was the hardest thing I've ever watched in my life. There are moments when he is just taking a break, standing at the edge on the 90th floor, just like waving, looking down, not holding on to anything.
No,
I mean, this was me the whole
no.
time, like grabbing Kyle's arm, like
How is he attaching himself to the
grabbing the
building?
steel bars, just
No,
grabbing.
no, no,
Yes,
no, no,
Lucy.
no.
Then he gets to the
No.
very top and he just stands up there. The wind is blowing him. So anyway, that's my thing because it was like so year of the horse, but also I uh, that made watching IU almost not win the national championship like a 1 out of 10 on stress. Watching
Oh
this
my
man
gosh, we're
climb.
gonna have to watch that today.
But if you haven't watched Free Solo either and you just want something that's, like, insane, that's also an amazing documentary, but, like, I would still, even though it was live, like, listening to the commentators, these commentators, like, one was, like, a WWE or don't quote me on that, he was, like, a high intense
Yeah.
athlete, and he kept being like, "I cannot handle this, like, what is this man doing?" Just
Well, the
oh.
only reason I even knew it was happening was because I saw an article about how he, like, has kids now and a
Yes, he has
family.
yes, and his wife is just in the building watching him. At one point, she goes out and celebrates with him, and they're just, like, taking
No.
his comfortableness with being no, Lucy, no. It was the wildest like, the fact that we watched that from 10 to 11:30, Kyle and I were, like, so stressed going to bed last night.
Yeah. I
Kyle
can't
woke up
hear
and he was like, "Did you have dreams of, like, flying off buildings?" I'm like, "No, I'm surprised I didn't
no.
because it was
Your cortisol
wild,
was, like, raging at that point.
wild." But
My
so
gosh.
so Year of the Horse too. It was also, like, very Year of the Horse, like, this guy's just gonna do this.
Oh
So anyway, that's
my
my product.
gosh.
It's a show.
That's
Wild.
incredible.
Yeah.
Wild. My thing I've done for myself is actually it is everything we've talked about in the last month, essentially, but the fact that I actually went to all those games with Kev, and it's very out of character for me to have figured out a way to do the childcare for something that's personal and not work, and
Mhm.
prioritized spending time traveling with Kev, doing all these things twice in a month.
And you had
Like
work
talking
travel in that.
Yeah, and talking about the, like, what comes at the expense of other things, poor Kevin is always, like, the one that
Yeah.
time just the 2 of us is, like, what everything comes at the expense of,
Yeah.
and it's always attention, because he's
Yeah.
like, "It's okay if you leave the kids for us to go out on a date night, like, it's fine."
Yeah.
And I have a hard time prioritizing that, and I would say, like, we did it, and we really prioritized each other and ourselves and the Hoosiers over the last
And
month, and it
Hoosiers.
was just a reminder again, like, we can be fun. You can
Mhm.
be, like, a parent and be fun and do things for yourself, and it was just a great
So fun.
reminder, and I was proud of myself that I did it.
I'm really proud of you. You did it. Very proud of you. 2 times. You were very I was very much thinking after the Rose Bowl, you're like, "I did it. It was fine. I went once," and then you
Uh,
just did it again.
I know.
I will say though, which I think is like a whole podcast, the more kids you have and the longer you try to go away, the prep tricks you that it's not gonna be worth it. I text my friend
Yeah.
this all the time, and I'm like, "Okay, I'm at that point of prepping all the people and all the things
Mhm.
that I feeling like I should just not go on the trip." And then 24 hours into the trip, you're like, "Okay, this was worth it. This
Yeah.
was worth every."
And honestly, like, the kids being older helps a
Oh,
lot,
yeah.
and the support of every family member who watched our children over the last month has been incredible. So, we were lucky, but
Good for you.
anyways, well, I hope
Right.
everyone is still feeling this Year of the Horse energy because I sure am.
We are over here.
I know.
Flu's not gonna stop us.
Most certainly isn't. Well, we're gonna go shovel the driveway, so I
We're
hope
gonna
you
go
have a great
sled
day.
on we're gonna go
Cookie
sled on
sheets.
cookie. Okay, bye.
All right, bye.